following is a presentation of Anime Championship Wrestling, a standard of CAW.
Hello, and welcome to the Participants Reveal special event of the 2020 Glamor X Element Tournament. My name is Hakeem Johnson. I am the founder and lead announcer of Anime Championship Wrestling. On December 3rd, 2018, we hosted the very first Glamor X Element Tournament. From all around the world, all across the anime and gaming genres, 32 of the best female talents from wherever made possible collided under one roof at the Wells Fargo Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For the next several weeks, through various rounds, as the participants started to eliminate themselves through fantastic matchups, it would all collide at the direct episode of Animania 5 last season, when two finalists would collide to determine our very first Glamor X Element Tournament winner and our inaugural Element champion. It came down to Yoko Littner and Mikasa Ackerman. A match for the ages, historic in its right. Yoko Littner became the inaugural ACW Element champion and won the very first Glamor X Element Tournament. Since then, Yoko Littner, Mikasa Ackerman, and various other participants of the first Glamor X Element Tournament have now been signed with Anime Championship Wrestling. Our goal with the first tournament was to showcase the best female talent from all around the world who have their own distinct and unique element that showcase them in a different light compared to every other participant. And now, we are once again answering the call. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Glamor X Element Tournament. Now for this year, things are a little bit different. Instead of the usual 8 that you are accustomed to, we have narrowed it down to simply 6. 6 different styles of element. That being striker, technical, brawler, defense, aerial, and balanced. Also, our tournament structure is going to be different than it was last edition of the tournament. There will be an alpha, there'll be a beta, there'll be a gamma, and there will be an omega. More information on that as we get closer to the event. But now, it is now time to reveal the 32 participants of the Glamor X Element Tournament. This year, however, we can reveal to you tonight that out of the 32 participants of this year's Element Tournament, 10 of them will be returning, and 22 will be making their debut. So before we get to introduce ourselves to the new participants, let's reveal who's coming back to the Element Tournament. A very strong 10 if I do say so myself, but of course I approve it. Nonetheless, you now know who's coming back from the first Element Tournament for this year's Element Tournament. And now we find out who fills out the rest of that roster. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the remainder of the Element Tournament participants who will be making their debut. there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have to be honest, that's quite the list of participants for this year's tournament. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking right now, when are we going to get our first look? When are we going to really see some of these participants as we get closer to the tournament? Well, think no more. That's what I'm here for. We will be having a special showcase event. That means immediately following that Excel, we will be having a special Glamor X Element Tournament Showcase special event where all 32 participants will be in the building and will be providing a showcase for all of the live crowd and those watching from wherever around the world to witness. Glamor X Element Tournament will be held in Honolulu, Hawaii at the Stan Sheriff Center. That is where this entire journey is going to kick off once again for 32 participants, where we will track down who truly holds the ultimate element. Where the winner will not only be immediately signed to Anime Championship Wrestling, but will also get an instant title shot at the ACW Element Championship. Who will be the next Element Tournament winner, and who will cement their status as the best of the best? Tune in to find out that journey as we get closer to the tournament. I'm Hakeem Johnson, and as always, stay cool.